Well, hello there, Commonwealth. This is Great Grandpa Gamer. We're going to build a giant windmill at Sunshine Tidings, right on top of the silo. But before we begin, remember this? We're going to bear that in mind. So this windmill was a monstrous thing from the concept art I chose. Yeah, let's take a look at that. That's insane. We're going to come as close as Fallout can do for us. So I'll start by merging several windmills together. Yeah, I need several propellers. 3 isn't quite enough for me. So I'll merge several of these windmills together and we'll see what we come up with. Hey, that's not right. Now, let's be straightforward with you. No matter how hard I try, there's no way to get it right. It looks good there, but as soon as you fast travel, those fan blades will reorient themselves. So let's leave that aside for now, and let's start working on our staircase up and around the windmill. I placed down these shack steps, and I attached a quarter floor to them. And we'll just start stacking those on top of one another. One of the first things you're going to notice is that silo has terrible collision. The collision is not the surface of the silo or even inside the silo like some places. No, the collision is about 6 inches away from the silo from my perspective. So everything I built had to be a little offset. And I had a few obstacles in the way. But we're getting there. We're getting there. We got around our obstacle there. Yeah, swept out. And I decided, no matter how rickety and lofty it looked, I was going to try to make it look like it belonged by the time I was done with it. So I just muscled through putting up the spiral staircase. And here's our top floor. Okay, this part satisfied me. We can at least support the top floor. I was able to glitch through. I have a question for you. That floor I placed is 1.5 squares wide. How do I put a roof on it? Snap a normal roof. Find the upper shack floor, snap it to the other side. You notice they merged in the center? And then 2 small floor pieces above the roof, and it is a perfect roof. Now to support this thing, boy, did I turn flips. I used every single method for supporting that I could think of, including using the ball tracks, and hoping that I could guide them in to snap underneath. Despite the collision, despite the pre-existing construction. So I spent a lot of time working on that. Some of it paid off. And that was one of the most challenging parts, is trying to get this thing supported. Especially since it's not actually touching the side of the silo. Oh boy, that would have been so much easier. Okay. A little cleanup. So I placed the ball tracks where I could. Some of them look like they're floating, so I added decorations to them. And those decorations made it look like the ball tracks joined the roof. That was a more convincing support.
Yes.
Here's what we have so far. Yeah, we worked some of the ball track backwards. Got a few convincing support pieces. This one was making me work for it, friends. It really was. You see how the collision will allow me to get closer. That's okay. There's no reason for me to go back there and look at that particular piece. And I'm not real fond of supporting with the pillars, but I don't mind shorter pillars. It's the ones that seem to be 100 feet tall. Those I have a problem with. Okay, let's put a few guardrails. And I only worried about putting guardrails wherever they would snap. The rest of them, I didn't care. And yes, it's a hazard. People will fall off. But this is a lofty, shaky, dangerous construction. And I've got some specials at the end of the video to show you just how dangerous it is. You may enjoy that. Rad Storm, thank you very much. Come on, let me get my guardrails out. All right. I wanted a wall with a window, so we'll make one. That works. Okay, we'll just position this. That will be our window. We'll use a holy crummy wall right there. Now, let's get back to our windmill. Notice those fan blades are kind of positioned any which way. Now, I'm telling you, if I fast traveled, they would orient themselves in yet another way. A little different every time you fast travel. Now I'm going to try to suspend some supports because I wasn't pleased with how the supports felt. It didn't feel like those stairs were quite supported well enough. So I got a crazy idea. Like a suspension bridge. I built a big platform so I can easily work up there. And then I grabbed a short pillar and placed a conduit next to it so I can group select the thing. And this will be my measurements. I'll take this up top. And I kind of want to get it right next to that seam. So it took a few trips. Still not perfect, but I got it perfect on a later trip. Now, once you get it perfect, place your pillar on a floor. All right, we're making a jig. We know as long as we can place a pillar on the floor that we can get right next to that conduit. And now I can snap a few pieces of conduit out of the way that I can guide straight back. So there's two things that I don't ever want to change. Is the height of that floor and the position of my anchor conduit. Those will always be the same height. Now we're adding something else to kind of beef up where the conduit joins the silo. We're going to add a ball track. Kind of like that. That's the idea. I got the right height there as well. And once I get the right position, there we go. I want to find a way to duplicate the position of the ball track as well. There we are. That upper ball track will also serve as an anchor point. We'll add a light and 3 connection points. Well, the snapping was kind of crazy. I had to remove the floor to get the snapping to occur. I had to replace the floor so I can place my pillar at the exact height I need. Alright, and I got to remove the floor so I can group select the pillar. A few steps in there, but it works. It's a Todd Howard kind of, it works, but it works. Okay, let's walk this on up. That looks pretty good, and that's what I was after. Okay. I started by building the ball track, and then I tried to snap my conduit back into it. That failed, so it turns out the conduit needed to go first. No biggie. Just move the ball track to the side and rebuild starting with the conduit instead. So between the floor, the conduits, and the ball tracks, there's a snapping point for each one of those so I can duplicate that construction exactly the same every single time. So that's a Fallout 4 jig, friends. Right there, we just did it again. Yes, got to move the floor out of the way so I can group select that pillar. By the way, I mean, since I have conduits here, might as well electrocute them. Get that little light to show. There we go. The Wi-Fi glitch. Okay. We'll position our little strange hanging apparatuses all the way around. It's exactly the same height every single time. We're going to remove our floors. And now to suspend the bridge from it. Yeah, that first one was a bit of a pain. I was kicking myself for making the height too much. But we managed. And that was the worst one. The rest came in easy. And I overplaced the wires. I placed way too many wires here and there. And by doing that, I had a choice at the end. I can remove any wires that really just felt wrong or in the way. So here we are. We decorated the inside. Let's take a look at what we have.
Got a dangerous look about you. Hope you ain't here for me.
Yes?
This is our windmill.
Huh?
Definitely a wasteland windmill. When you walk up these stairs, you can feel the boards buckling under your feet. You can hear all the creaking. You can feel the swing from all those wires suspending the walkway. Yeah, not safe at all. Let me remind you of something I showed you in the very beginning. You remember yet? Yep, friends, full circle. Let's get their attention. sorry gunners. And perhaps you remember the picture I showed you. That one. I seem to have missed the mark, so let's see what we can do about that. I like it. Friends, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye-bye now.